Hello and welcome. The Dark Moon Goddesses and I welcome you to this new moon solar eclipse ceremony today, August the 12th, 2026. And as we wait for others to join us, I want to share with you the fire, since this is an eclipse in a fire sign. So hello to everyone. Welcome today. This is an exciting day for me. For lots of us, because this is such an amazing time with this solar eclipse that we're going through. We don't always have totality, and of course we don't see it. Most of the United States will not see it. Most of Canada won't. A little touch of Canada, um, Iceland, Greenland, and I think the epicenter of it is Spain. So we have I have my good friend Jen Balco, who is in Spain, who will be watching the eclipse. It will be She will see it. It will start the beginning of the eclipse at about our time, 1:30, and I think the totality will be in our time at about 2:30 for her in Spain. So it's a wonderful time. This new moon and solar eclipse is in a fire sign. It's in Leo. And so if you have candles, I have both a just a battery operated candle here, if you happen to have that. And I have a live candle, if you can see that burning. And I've been burning sage for the last half hour or so. And let me get a little more of that sage started, smoking it around the room again. So we cleanse the area, clear the space, invite in the divine light to be with us as we go through ceremony today. And if you have your own incense or sage, do share that in your room as we go into this beautiful ceremony today. So, with the sage burning over to the side, I want to start calling the directions. I know we've still got folks coming in, so maybe I should wait another minute or so for more folks coming in. But the eclipses represent portals to new states of consciousness. And I have on my sun, but I also have my moonstone on top of the sun today. And I want to introduce you to the paintings on my wall, some of them anyway. This eclipse is in a fire sign, so I have my fire and my fire on water behind me. But I also have this one I want to point out is a Vesica Piscis. You have the sun on one side, the earth on the other side, and this graying area in the middle is the eclipse. It's the moon blocking the energies, blocking the light between the two. And obviously there's some sun and moon pictures around. And this is the seven-pointed star. And a seven-pointed star represents an opening to the other world. It's a very unusual star. You don't usually see a seven-pointed star. And this particular one, just to give you a very brief history on it, I intended to paint a six-pointed star. That was where I started. And somehow beyond my control, turned into a seven-pointed star, which is used in many different systems. It's a Celtic system for various things, but it's essentially a portal to the other world. So let's call the directions as the sage is continuing to filter across. And if you want to join me in that, if you know the directions in your home, you can turn with it, or you can just watch the screen, whichever is best for you to do. And I start here in the center, calling in the divine light and saying thank you. Thank you to the divine feminine, the divine masculine, the balance, and the caring and the loving for all. And we say thank you. And I turn to the east. In my home, the east is this direction, and you can turn in your home or just watch the screen. We say thank you to the east. The east is the direction of the rising sun, the direction of illumination guiding our pathway as we walk through this journey of life. And we invite you in, great sun, to show us the way, to show the pathways. And we call on the sun gods and goddesses to guide us through our journey today. Thank you. Now make a quarter turn to the right, to the south. The south, the noonday sun, and the direction of love and laughter and joy. And so we ask this new moon and the eclipse energy to help us remember the joy of life, the beauty, the understanding, the remembering of who we are. And we thank you, ancestors of the South. I turn to the West. The West is the direction of introspection and the direction of the setting sun, the direction that leads us into the darkness today as the eclipse draws near. And so we ask the ancestors of the West to fill us with knowledge, to guide us on our pathway with the sun illuminating where to go and how to step. And we say thank you to the ancestors of the West. Thank you. And I turn to the north. We fly from the west across the sky with Nut to Huti and Konsul. Konsul, the goddess, Egyptian goddess of the moon, taking us to the north. And in the north, we ask for wisdom to understand our path and understand our journey, and to see in the light, see the darkness in the light in the darkness, the balance, the structure of who we are and where we are and where we go from here. And we thank you, ancestors of the North. And I come full circle back to the center. And again, say thank you to the above and reach down and say thank you to Mother Earth. She who holds us in her arms as we walk this journey of the earth. And we temporarily close the circle with saying Aho, Ashi, Amen, blessed be, Hamdulillah, and so it is. We thank you, ancestors of all the directions, as you guide us today on this beautiful journey. And we say thank you today to the fire, since this is in the sign of Leo, a fire sign. We open to the fire, and if you haven't already lit your candle, please do that. I have a candle burning here, and I have the battery operated candles on the other side, as well as the sage that's going. Yes, such a beautiful time. So the eclipse and the moon are about transformation, bringing events that shift and transform our lives with beginnings and endings. And we have many beginnings and endings. One, the 7-point star that can take us, can open the doorway for this transformation that we're about to go through. And the eclipse in Leo is very significant. We have not had an eclipse in Leo since 2019. And this particular eclipse is aligned with the closing of the Lion's Gate, which you may have heard of over the last several days. The Lion's Gate occurs when the Earth, our sun in the sign of Leo, and the constellation called Orion's Belt and the bright star Sirius line up together. And so the peak of this portal was August the 8th, and the closing of the portal begins today on this auspicious day of solar eclipse. And another significant date in 2008 was the last time we had a solar eclipse that corresponded with Lionsgate. And so I ask you to just make note and later today, think back about what was happening in your life in 2008 and 2019. Both of these are closing events and moving to new journeys with the closing of those. And there may be quite a few other closings that are happening for you in the next week or so as we move into this new energy. So this total eclipse energy, though it's not impacting most of us who are on this call, I mean, in terms of seeing it, but the total eclipse energy impacts everyone on Earth every time that it occurs. Um, it will cross Greenland and Iceland, the Atlantic Ocean, and come into Spain and Portugal. And and even though there are still some fires in Spain, there are many, many, many tourists. I read this morning something like 400,000 people have come into Spain to watch this eclipse this afternoon. That will begin there in Spain in about 15 minutes, the beginning, and it'll be another hour before the totality comes about. So we'll be with that energy as it moves along. So eclipses disrupt our ordinary sense of dark and light. So eclipses are portals to a period of accelerated evolution and rapid change. So I want to share my screen with you and show you just a short slideshow. But first, let me ask if there are any questions, because I saw someone's hand up at one point. If you have a question, just speak up because I can't see all of you on the screen right now. Okay. Well, let me share my slideshow and we'll talk through this for just a moment. And that's one of the fires that I've had in my ceremony as we start around this fire energy with this eclipse. So we're going to wander through the cosmos here for a few minutes, talking about the new moon and the solar eclipse. And the moon, really changes its shape every night. And sometimes the moon is in the day, like this period right now, moon comes out in the daytime. Because it's a new moon, we can't see it because what we're looking at is the dark side of the moon. And when we see it at night, we are looking at the full moon or some waxing or waning portion of that moon. But just like Earth, the moon exists in space. And the moon is always moving through space. And as it circles the Earth, it circles through zodiac constellations. And so today, with the solar eclipse and the new moon, we are in the sign of Leo. And 2 weeks from now, we'll have the full moon and a lunar eclipse. that actually occurs in the middle of the night on August 28th, and that ceremony will be on August 27th. And I'll send an email again about that. So this new moon and solar eclipse will bring some unexpected changes. The shifts will be fast and furious, and we may be in chaos, we may be in flow. It's very important to remember to let the flow come, even if it's change that you don't want. Remember to go with the flow, because the chaos will cause you to not remember where you're going and who you are. So that sun, earth, and moon are aligned, and the moon is in the middle. And since it's the dark side of the moon, we can't see it, and it blocks out the sun because of the position that that it is in the sky. It occurs. It's the timing is slightly different depending on where you are, but here where I am in North Carolina, it's at 1:36 this afternoon. Will be the full moon in the constellation of Leo, and this particular dark moon energy and the eclipse are about balancing our inner fire. It's about strength and courage and determination. But we have to we have to be careful with fire, because it can go into anger and impulsivity and ego sometimes. So touching and reaching for our strength and courage and keeping ourselves in balance, because eclipse energy brings us this feeling of urgency to close an existing cycle, because we're about to move into a new cycle, a new change, and we need to let go of the old instead of hanging on by our nails to keep what's familiar. It's time to step into the fire and let go of the old so that we can start anew. So the ancestors of the West, call us to rest in the night and go into our dream time. And the new moon is a time of setting new intentions to dream what we want to manifest when we get to the full moon. Many, many, many cultures for thousands of years have looked at the new moon and have used it as a time for dreaming and planting the seeds. So this is an even more fertile time because it's an eclipse time. So think about what your dreams are. Think about what you intend to manifest. And dance with the dark moon goddesses and gods. And while we dance, remember this eclipse numerology is 3, which opens us to creativity. That's 3 is a number that leads us to creativity. And so the universe is calling you to think about your individual creativity and how to use that to share with the world to help raise the consciousness of all around us. So let these goddesses of light and love and the dark dance with you as you walk through the healing fire. Anya, Bridget, and Lou are goddesses and god of the sun, and they're standing there with the eclipse, holding the sun while the moon covers the light, and they will bring it back around to us. So let's look at a few other gods and goddesses of the moon and see what sort of transformation they're stirring up for us. The moon's magnetic forces draw us inward to discover our heart's desire, who we truly are. The moon calls us to remember who we are. And of course, with the moon and the eclipse, we're looking at transformation, change, death, and rebirth of our ideas and our plans. Hecate is one of the goddesses, a Greek goddess of magic, of the night, and of the moon. And she represents a doorway between our earthly journey and our soul's purpose. And Sekhmet is an Egyptian goddess. She is a sun goddess, a moon goddess, a warrior, a protector goddess, and she calls us to remember why we're here. We came to Earth with a particular purpose, and the goddesses call us to remember who we are. Sekhmet, like the lion, is fierce, but like the mother lion, Sekhmet will carry us when we cannot walk on our own, when we're in a place where we have no idea what to do next. We can call on Sekhmet and she will lift us up and carry us like the mother carrying the child until we're able to come around and remember who we are. And the Celtic Morrigan, I invite you to enter her dark cave of introspection. I've been there to this dark cave. It is quite a space of alchemy. And so step into her dream time and let the alchemy do what it will. Alchemy and dreaming can teach you how to use that darkness of life, the pain that we experience, the heaviness, and turn it into fuel for us to grow and thrive. Goddesses of the eclipse take us even deeper. They help us create and shift wherever we need to go that's in the divine flow, and help us trust that universal energy guiding us. Our challenge is to open ourselves, to honor that transformation, to let go of our fear and open to our heart's possibility. And much like an eclipse, the eclipse goddesses reflect that change in the cosmic order. They guide us to restore our order so transformation and change can flow, not send us into chaos, but flow. And Cerwyn is a Welsh goddess of the dark. She's a keeper of the cauldron of knowledge and inspiration and rebirth. She's a goddess of prophecy, and so she uses her magic herbs to create a potion for us to transform, for us to remember who we are, to transform from our earthly thoughts into remembering our soul's purpose. And the Cailleach of the Celtic line. The Cailleach is a goddess of many things. One of those is a goddess of the eclipses. She brings her energy in a raging fury because she's shaking up the world in harmony with the eclipse. We don't think of shaking and rage as harmony, but this time it's in harmony with the change that's coming forth. And so she's using the darkening skies to help us readjust who we are. So that this solar eclipse, total and the annular eclipses, are doorways to our soul's journey. And they're on a path for 6 months. What's happening now with this one will be in that definite energy for another 6 months. So our theme now is balancing our inner fire. The new moon in Leo and the solar eclipse activate a gateway to balancing our inner fire. It's a shift between the two worlds, opening us to remember who we are and to pay attention to that inner fire. Balancing our inner fire may be standing up for ourselves, or it might be stepping back from our ego. It will be different for each of us, but remembering that we are in the process of balancing that fire. The eclipse energy is there to help you see a new perspective of yourself, a new perspective of who you are and your role in this world. The Leo eclipse is very creative. So please, whatever creative aspects you have, whether it's speaking, writing, some artistic endeavor, whatever kind of creativity you have in your life, this is a time to really focus on that and let it manifest, because this is a new opening for us. Overall, this eclipse is propelling us into a period of transition. We can moan and groan when the change comes, but this is an opportunity to let go of the fear and the anger and the moaning and the groaning, to remember who we are, to remember why we're here, to connect with what we truly desire from within our heart. The goddesses, the sun and the moon, are inviting us to enter that flow, to let what's been happening run its course, let it fall away, and release what is no longer helpful in our spiritual growth. It's time to create a space for what is meant to arise and bloom in us. The breeze, the moon, the sun, the earth, and the ancestors call us to remember who we are, call us to claim our true power and the power of divine love. So it will appear that the sun takes a bite out of the sun for those who can see the eclipse today. And eventually the moon will totally cover over the sun for a few minutes. But it is a magical time, and it's time to set your goals to enhance your spiritual growth and grab hold of what you need to manifest these dreams as we move toward the full moon in 2 weeks. There will be some powerful changes, and some will be where we least expect them to be. But rather than seeing this as something that you don't want to occur, look at it with new eyes, with a new perspective. Look at it with new ways of being. How can you grow with this? Solar eclipse in Leo, a fire sign. And I highly suggest that you add meditation to your day so that you find some avenues to flow with the events that are coming. Change and transformation can feel like confusion, but get rest when you can. Prioritize your time and your activity to include that rest. You may find your emotions flying from one thing to another in this eclipse season, but pay attention to whatever tools you have to help you maintain the flow, in the cosmic flow with your emotions. Meditation, journaling, herbal teas, essential oils, whatever those things are that help you stay in balance and in harmony. Remember to use those through this eclipse period. New things are in motion because of the new moon and the eclipse. Now, we might not notice it just today. It may happen over the next couple of weeks. We might get a flash of something to help us understand something we were struggling with. But the eclipse and the new moon are here to awaken what we were truly born to do in this lifetime, to help us awaken to our soul's purpose and to put it into action. So look into your heart. Use this new moon energy and solar eclipse energy and the movement of all these celestial orbs to set new intentions. Listen to the voices of your ancestors, the gods, whatever guides you have, and pay attention to your dreams. And let that ancestral wisdom begin to grow, begin to flourish. Let it come through your heart and help you remember who you are. Khonsul, the Egyptian moon god, will guide us across the heavens as we go through today's eclipse and 2 weeks from now through the lunar eclipse. So welcome to the journey. And quite a journey it is. And remember, go back to your candles and your incense and your sage and whatever tools you have to help freshen and clear your air. Remember who you are. Spend time journaling or meditating to get in touch with those pieces within your heart that connect to the journey that you are able to do. No journey is presented to you that you cannot accomplish. We just let our fear and our ego and our past patterns get in the way sometimes, but no journey is too hard for us to take. So welcome to the journey. So are there any questions? Let me go to if I can find it over here, the gallery, and say hello to everyone. Are there comments or questions anybody would like to bring up while we're here in ceremony together?
Oh, that was a beautiful ceremony, Peggy. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Maria.
Yes, and I loved how you opened always up with the directions and explaining it to us why it's so important, the changes that are coming. And thank you.
Yeah.
And how we can make a difference and really consciously be aware of it.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Any other comments or questions? I'm seeing lots of faces that I didn't see before. If I recognize, hello to everybody. So glad you're here. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone want to speak up? Okay. Well, what I suggest that you do, if you have a candle with you, whether it's a fire candle or a battery operated candle, bring your candle in front of you. Hold it if you can, or just put it, close beside you. And if you happen to have intentions that you've written, have those beside you too. But if you haven't, if you don't have them beside you, just think in your mind at least one intention that you want to put into place during this eclipse time, because between now and the next one, 2 weeks from now, many things may occur. And so you're planting seeds through this new moon period. And those seeds will begin to come into manifestation as we near the full moon and the lunar eclipse, and will continue on for a time period. So hold on to that. And take your candle and put your intentions into that candle so that they may glow and rise up, and the energy of that go into the sky, telling the universe, these are your intentions. This is what you want. This is what you're working toward. Yeah. And say thank you for this opportunity to become aware of the things you want to do. And now, hovering in the background, somewhere back there behind you, may be some blockages. some things that may cause it difficulty in you coming through with what you want to do. Whatever those things are, they might be fear, they might be anger, they might be past experiences that are hard to get through. Whatever those things are, put those now into the fire. Let the fire take them. Let the fire burn them. The fire knows how to hold them. The fire is one of Mother Earth's tools, one of Mother Earth's sidekicks to help us become one with the light. So let those things that have blocked you today, yesterday, blocked you your whole life, put those into the fire right now and let them burn away. And as they begin to burn, watch the ashes float away, float away, float away. And say thank you for the opportunity to become aware of the things that you need to release, the things that need to float away. Yeah. And so set your candle aside if you would. And just take a deep breath in and hold it for just a few beats and release. And do that again. Take a breath in and hold it and release. And one more time, 3 times. Breath in and hold and release. This eclipse is a 3, according to our calendar in the Western world, at least. And so we take the 3 breaths in harmony with the eclipse energy. And right about now, in Spain, they're beginning to see the very first parts of that moon taking a bite out of the sun. And it'll take about an hour for it to come into full darkness. And that'll last for maybe about 4 minutes or so before it begins to change again. So over the next hour, just keep that in your mind and in your heart that that eclipse is happening and that that eclipse is bringing new energy in. It's also bringing in the wagon to pick up all those things that you're dumping off. It's going to pick up the ashes of the things you put into the fire. So let them go. Let them go with the eclipse. Let them be gone so that you can start over again with a new journey and a new place. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Any last thoughts or words anyone wants to say? Yeah, I'm so happy to see all of you. Thank you so much for being here. It's beautiful, beautiful,
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thank you, Peggy.
Really beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the beautiful introduction.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
missed it.
yeah.